Man, when I tell you I could not believe this, man, my homie down in Jacksonville, Florida, man, DJ Will, man, asked me to come down for his birthday bash. And so I'm like, man, I told my homie, I said, this was like 2011. He like, let go. I'm like, man, that's a nice ride. We talking about, man, 12, 13 hours from Memphis. He like, let go. I got my daughter with me. I'm like, let go. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, we hop on the interstate. Man, we pushing. Man, it was a cool ride. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was excited. This was, man, when I first kind of, when I first got started and man, it was so crazy how when we got to Florida, I was like, ooh, this thing here beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Man, we got to Jacksonville, Florida. And man, my transmission and my Oldsmobile Cutlass started acting crazy. Now, I had drove this Cutlass everywhere. I'm talking about, man, I'm talking about putting miles on that Cutlass. I'm talking about on a grind. I'm talking about going from city to city, my state to state, my neighborhood to neighborhood. Man, I'm talking when I tell you that car, man, was dependable. Matter of fact, I still got it to this day. And when I tell you I did have to swap a new motor, but man, that thing is still running. You feel me? But man, I'm talking about it's dependable at the time. You know what I mean? Like I ain't never had no issues. Man, we get to Jacksonville, Florida. Man, that mug act like he ain't want to go. I'm like, Lord, what is this? And my boy, like, what's up with the car? I'm like, man, this I don't even know. It ain't never done this before. So man, we was able to get it to the show, get it to the birthday bash. I do my thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I got it out front. People don't even know that junk like ain't even doing more than 20 miles an hour because it's something over with the transmission. But I was hoping and praying that it wasn't not major. So after the show, a couple people wanted pictures with it because I had a shrink wrap and all of that. Man, we end up getting it to the hotel. And man, when I tell you that next morning, I got up after was praying all night. Man, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm 12, 13 hours away from Memphis. I was praying. I'm like, Lord, please let this car get fixed by you. Cause I ain't had the money. I'm gonna be real with you. I ain't had the money. And so I'm sitting here like, Lord, this can't be happening right now. But it was happening. And when I tell you, uh, I'm in Florida, like, dude, I don't even really know nobody that I can, you know what I'm saying, post up with, or like me and the homie who brought me was cool, but man, we weren't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like for me to be like, bro, let me post up at your spot. You know what I mean? I don't know him like that, but I'm gonna tell you how God worked. So I called my mama, told my mama what had happened. It's like, you got a cousin that live in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm like, for real? She like, yeah, it's it's your granddaddy's um, um, daughter, my granddaddy's daughter by a previous situation. She had a daughter, so she lived there, which was a blessing. So I'm like, I never spoke to this lady ever in my life. My mama knew her. She said, "Come on, get it to the house." Man, I was able to get it to the house doing about 20 miles an hour. Man, get it to a transmission shop. But this what was so real. It was a weekend, and my daughter had to be in school that Monday. So this was the hardest thing in the world for me to do. I had my manager with me and my daughter, and I put my daughter on a Greyhound with my manager to get her back to Memphis for school. Now remind you, my car ain't running. Not only is my car ain't running, my money crazy. I know I got a transmission problem, and I got my daughter who's with me. She's like 12, 13 hours away from Memphis. Man, I had to trust my manager, and I thank the Lord that he's been a stand-up dude to put them folks on a Greyhound back to Memphis. I got to depend on this man to do right by me and my daughter so I can get her back to Memphis. Man, that was like one of the hardest things to do, was to watch my daughter get on a Greyhound with my partner and have to ride 12, 13 hours, and they got to stop in between. It's like, whoa, Lord, what are we doing right now? But when I tell you, man, God moved mightily, got my daughter and my manager back to Memphis, and I thank the Lord that it all worked itself out. But I had another problem because my money was funny. And now I got my car in the shop. Dude tell me I need a whole transmission. I'm like, Lord, damn, my money crazy. When I tell you I had to get on a grind in Jacksonville, man, to try to make this money, man, with these CDs. Not only that, working the phone, just trying to get people who fool with me to fool with me, you know. But man, when I tell you God did his thing, and those were moments in my life where I knew that God was in it. Here I am in Jacksonville, Florida, got to come up with like $1,300, and I probably only had the money to get down there and maybe a night or two a hotel for her. Because I had my daughter with me. But if it wasn't for my daughter, man, I'd be sleeping in a car. You know what I'm saying? Like I always did. But man, I knew God was in it when that transmission got fixed. And I'll never forget, I stayed with my cousin for like 4 or 5 days, just on the grind, just, man, on foot, man, just trying to make a couple dollars so I can get my car fixed. And when I tell you, man, I never forget dude calling me and saying, man, I pushed you ahead of the line because I know you from out of town and you trying to get back to Memphis. And man, he pushed me in front of all the other customers and got my car knocked down in like 4 or 5 days. I knew God was in it. I knew God was telling me this is what I want you to do. And I watched God move mightily. And I'll never forget being back on the interstate, man, coming back through, coming up out of Florida, coming through Atlanta, man, on my way back to the M with a new transmission in my Cutlass. Man, I knew it was down here from there because I'm like, Lord, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I defeated that, man, come on. Some folk would have folded. And man, I ain't no telling, you feel me? But I got on the grind, make that thing happen. And so when I tell you, man, sometimes you will never expect some things to happen. But when they happen, you better know who in control.